Hey guys, so I'm reading the book of First Kings, the continuation, and I'm in chapter 18, towards the bottom, towards the end, when Elijah tells his servant, right, to go. It says, then he told the servant, go up and look toward the sea. So the servant went up and looked and said, there's nothing. And Elijah wanted him to see if there was like any sign of a cloud or anything like that, because Elijah had just prophesied that it was going to rain, right? So it says 7 times Elijah said, go back. And this right there, I was like, wow, it shows us that we have to be persistent. And he didn't lose faith. Like he could have said, like, why isn't it happening? Like, oh, he could have gotten discouraged, but he didn't. He continued. He continued to tell his servant, go, go, go. And then on the 7th time, the servant reported, there's a cloud as small as a man's hands coming up from the sea. And right there, Elisha said, this shows me that sparked his faith. Because then Elijah said, go and tell Ahab, get your chariot ready and go down so the rain doesn't stop you. And then it says, in a little while, the sky grew dark with clouds and wind, and there was a downpour. So Ahab got in his chariot and went to Jezreel. But look what it says here. The power of the Lord was on Elijah, and he tucked his mantle under his belt and ran ahead of Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. This, in my mind, I'm like seeing the Roadrunner. You know, the Roadrunner goes, beep, beep, and then he speeds and he like beats the coyote. That's what I'm seeing here. Like he went past, he beat him because the power of God was over him. So now it's talking about when it says Elijah's journey to Horeb, right? And it says how Ahab tells Jezebel everything that Prophet Elijah had done. And you would think that Jezebel would fear God. You would think that she would be like, oh my goodness, like really, like God made all of that happen and fire came from heaven and Elisha was able to do all that and all these prophets were dead. You would think she would be very humble. And it just shows you how people that don't want to repent and that want to live in sin will continue to sin even if God shows them otherwise. Even if God shows them like, I am the true God, they don't care. They want to rebel against God. And that's what she was. She wanted to rebel. So what does she do? Instead of fearing God, she threatens the man of God. And of course, here it says that he becomes afraid and he wants to hide. But then the weird thing is that it says that he does a prayer. And in his prayer, he's like, oh God, please let me die. It's like, then why are you afraid of Jezebel telling you she's going to kill you? If you're telling God to kill you, like, are you afraid of death or are you not afraid of death and you're wishing on it? Like, you're confusing me here. Another thing that I think is hilarious is how he continues to say that he is the only prophet when there's a servant of Ahab that when Elijah meets him, he tells him, go tell Ahab, this, and this. And the servant is like, why do you want me to die? I touched on that last preaching or last, when I was talking on my last video, where he was like, why do you want me to die? Like if I go to Ahab and I tell him that I saw you and then you disappear or God like teleports you somewhere else, then he's going to want to kill me. And he told Elijah, he's like, have you not heard that I hid 100 prophets, 50 to a cave? Like saying there's other prophets. And it's like it went in one ear and out the other, because Elijah continues to say that he is the only prophet. And it's like, Elijah, did you not hear what this man of God, like this servant said, that he hid other prophets? Like, you're not the only one. You continue to say you're the only one. You're not, and then this. It says, suddenly an angel touched him, and the angel told him, get up and eat. Then he looked, and there at his head was a loaf of bread baked over hot stones and a jug of water. And I'm thinking, Lord, if your angel was going to cook for him and give him food, why did you make ravens feed him the first time with meat and all of this, right? Bread and stuff like this, when your angel could have just cooked for him? Which reminds me of a testimony, I think I said it in one of my videos, of a preacher that he is a single man and he would travel and preach around the world. And one day he was going home and he was like, man, Lord, how I wish that when I got home, there would be like, I think he said like a soup or something waiting for me. And then he says that when he gets to his house, as soon as he enters the kitchen, there is a soup of like a hot bowl of soup. And he's like, guys, nobody has the key to my house. I don't have anyone that lives in my house with me. So he's basically saying God did it, like an angel put it there or something, but it was a miracle, right? And then some guy in one of his goes to one of his preachings or whatever, and he's kind of mocking him, like, oh, because he's like, oh, if you want to stay over my house, you can. And the man of God was going to go with him, and he's like, oh, but like he's mocking him and playing around with him. He's like, oh, why don't you tell one of your angels to make us some this and that? I think he said like dos arepitas and this and this and that, and he was just like, whatever. But when they got to the man of God's house, sure enough, that what he was playing with was in the kitchen, and he was freaking out, like, wow, like I can't believe it happened, you know. So I just love that. It says, oh, and it says that he was able, it says, get up and eat, on, or because it says that the angel returned a second time and touched him, and he said, get up and eat, or the journey will be too much for you. So he got up, ate, and drank. Then on the strength from that food, he walked 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the mountain of God. He entered the cave there and spent the night. So that one heavenly meal gave him strength to be able to continue for 40 days and 40 nights, meaning he fasted those 40 days and 40 nights. I wonder if he drank water. I'm pretty sure he did, because he didn't say that he didn't drink water. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share that. That's what I've been reading now. So thanks for watching, guys. God bless and have a nice day.